Hello everyone and welcome back. As all the other columns in this table are now automatically entered using XLOOKUP, the user is only now left with these four columns to do some data entry. If we leave these columns as they are, the user is free to enter any data they like into it, no matter how inappropriate it is. So we're going to try to prevent that and to ensure that any data entered is valid and appropriate. One of the things we can do is use a list to restrict the user to only using options from that list. Order number is a good example. So order numbers exist on the orders reference table here. This is the order ID list. Those are all valid orders, and so the user should only be able to select one of those numbers for their orders. So in order to achieve that, we're going to use data validation. To achieve data validation, we're going to first of all ensure that there's a list in place. If I select this here and go to orders list, you'll notice that there's a list already in place for order ID. If there isn't a list there already, then simply select the column. So select from the data in the column from 1001 down to 1044 in this instance. Make sure the list is unfiltered, the data is unfiltered. And then just type in the name you want to give the list. In this case, it's orders underscore list. And if I press enter, that will take to that. So there's orders list there. There it is, orders list. An interesting effect of that also is that if you're anywhere else in the spreadsheet and the orders list is visible, you can actually go to it. Pop down here, orders list, and there it is. So it's a good accelerator to get to someplace if you need it as well. So now we're going to apply that list as a data validation into this column here, the order number column, to restrict the data entry in that column to valid entries. So we go to the data tab, data validation, list, and to select the list, use function F3 key, pop down to the list name, in this case it's orders list, and say OK. So the list is now the orders list. And we can go to an error alert here now. And what we're going to do is we're going to say stop it, so do not allow anything other than valid entries into this area. And we'll give it invalid order. Please pick from the drop down. That's the error message we're going to use. So we'll just say OK. And now you can see that there is the list coming from the orders reference table. And they're the only orders that the user can put in. They can still put in a wrong order number by selecting incorrectly from the list, but at least they won't be putting in 1001 space or 100 space 1 or anything like that, so it will still be a valid number. We can use conditional formatting eventually to check other aspects of this validation. We'll do the same with product ID here. Product ID list, we'll select the entire column. We're going to apply the data validation to all the entries in that column. And data validation, we're going to give it stop as well. The settings will be a list, and the list is going to be function F3, the products list, which we've set up. So the products ID list. OK. And we'll say OK. We'll do the error alert here. Stop invalid product code. Please pick from dropdown. Okay, we say OK. So now the user has just valid product lists there, and that list is coming from the products table, and there it is. There's the products ID list there. Again, selected the same as last time. So that's those two columns protected in some way to give the user some guidance as to what is the correct input. The order quantities, then we can just use some guidance here. It doesn't have to be a stop on it. We can just give guidance here. And basically what we want is any order over 50, we want to give them some warning that that's probably an out of range order number. Just think about it before you enter it. So in this instance, we're going to use data validation again. The settings in this case will be a whole number. It must be a whole number. And we'd like it between the minimum between one order and 50. So anything over 50 is unusual, so we'll just flag it. Error alert, we're just going to flag it, so we won't stop it this time. We'll just go to some information. Is this correct? order greater than 50 question mark. And I would say OK. So now if I try to put in 51 here, I'll get, is this correct order over 50? And I can say yes, OK, it is over 50, that's fine. I'll say oops, that's wrong, I'll cancel it. So it's just something to flag for the user. The last bit of validation we want to do here then is on the order line ID. So when I want the order line ID, really, I want it to match this, certainly with regard to the order number part here. And then I want the format to be a dash followed by 2 characters. Because of the way Excel is, it can't be refined much better than that, so I can't exactly match this, but I can't validate that this is going to be correct here, but I can certainly validate that the 1001 dash is correct and the 010203 here could still be entered incorrectly by the user, but it reduces the chance of error here. So in order to do that, we have the formula down here. So basically what it's going to do, it's going to match C8. So it's going to match this. So it's going to say if this followed by a dash and 2 characters is in the same format as this, which is 4 numbers followed by a dash and 2 characters, then we'll allow it. That's basically what this formula does. So I'll just copy that and paste it in as the data validation. So we'll select all the cells that we're applying the validation to. Remember, the validation will also apply to all new cells underneath this as they get added, so that makes it nice and easy. And we'll come up to the top here now and we'll go to data validation, settings. In this instance, we're using a formula, so it's a custom entry. And the formula is going to be, so basically match C8 with a dash followed by 2 characters. The question marks represent any 2 characters. And then to D8, and then an exact match. So that's what it's looking for there. And then the error alert again is a stop. In this case, it's just an invalid format. Please format the line number as question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, dash, question mark, question mark. So, i.e. 1001 dash 01. Okay, just an example there, and say OK. So now if someone tries to put in a number like 1002 dash 01, you'll get an error message because the main order number doesn't match the order number here. Okay, so it certainly protects the user from that point. So now we have data validation on all 4 cells. So it does protect the user to some extent, and it restricts them to putting in at least valid entries. There's still some opportunities for error here, but they're greatly reduced by adding data validation. That's it for now. In the next episode, we'll have a look at some conditional formatting to refine this checking further. So thanks a lot, and bye for now.